Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now, you may have remembered recently I did a Taiwan Type C military ration, and I said to you at the time that was kindly sourced by one of my subscribers. Now that subscriber also sent to me at the same time a box of Taiwanese treats and goodies. So what I'd like to do today is get some of these on a table and see what these look and taste like. So, as you can see, I now have back on the table this very interesting box of treats sent to me all the way from Taiwan. In the box I still have a couple of packets of Lay's crisps of interesting flavours. There is a selection of rice flavourings, chocolate bars, rice meals, noodles and a whole host of other interesting items. But for now, to save a little bit of time, I've already gone through the box, and I thought for today's meal I'd like to take a look at, move these out of the way. I have a black tea, a red date and loganberry tea, so there's two hot beverages. I'd like to take a look at this noodle meal, which I believe is a meal. I believe it's noodles and the soup. Take a look at some of the candies. I have a chocolate nugget bar, some lactic acid candies and some cookies. And also at the side I'd like to take a look at these Lay's crisps, flavour Milky Sakura. So first off, I think let's have a look at the noodles. Now, I've been trying to translate. These are not the easiest thing in the world to translate, but what I can gather is in here you have some noodles, a soup dish and some flavouring. So I'm hoping when I open them there is those three items. I've tried to translate it best I can, so let's get these noodles open and see what this pack contains. Now I'll bring in my old famous knife now, right from the start, and let's have a look what's actually in this pack. Now it does call for a large bowl to soak the noodles in, so I do have a large bowl here to one side, and straight off the top there is a pack of instant noodles. There is, this must be the little soup mix, and I think that must be some black bean sauce. Very interesting. I'm not sure which is which. I don't know if that is the soup and this is the soy, but very difficult to translate. I think what I'll do, I need to pause it here while I just have a quick translation of these packets. So, welcome back, and after that short little break, that was absolutely no use whatsoever. My translate on my phone can still not recognise either of these, so I'm going to assume this might be the soup mix, the powdered soup mix, and this must be the flavouring for the noodles. So I'm going to carry on as instructions. I now have 450 ml of boiling water at the ready to cover the noodles. So that's going straight in. I'm just follow the instructions as I actually can. I'm just going to bring in a Chinese spoon here just to submerge those a little bit, and it does say cover the dish and leave for 3 minutes. Now it looks like that little dish cover I've got there is a bit on the small side, so I'll just move that to one side for a moment while we have a look at some of the other items. Now I think this is loganberry and red date tea. So this is just a tea mixed with hot water. I think I might have tried this one once before in Singapore ration. Very difficult to remember now all of the drinks that I've had, but it is a distinctive smell coming from there. It smells quite strong and we'll just add hot water as per instructions, and we'll give this about half a cup. These are UK size mugs, and I think most other teacups are generally a little bit smaller, so half a cup is usually right. And I'll take another look at this black tea. Now this one I think is more of a standard style tea bag, so again we shall just do the usual required thing and just give that a little bit of a top up there. Let's give that a few minutes to also do its thing. Now I'm still waiting for those noodles, so while I'm doing that I shall open some of these other items. Now we do have some candies or cookies, bread, Superman biscuit. My subscriber kindly labelled some of these to help me out a little bit. I'm really glad that he did. So let's just have a look at these. So there's a nice little packet of what I assume is cookies or biscuits, and again give me a little bit of trouble to open, so just bring that knife back in. It's just a bag of little round cookies or biscuits, so just pour a few in there. It looks like they have a picture of a few cartoon characters. I won't take them all out, I'll just put that bag to the top there for now. I'll take a look at this Oolong tea chocolate nugget bar. Oolong tea, so a tea flavoured chocolate nugget. Again, something I've never seen before. And it looks like it's a nice little nuggety chocolate bar there, and a nice little packet of lactic acid candy. Now lactic acid I believe is another name for milk, so it might be another milk flavoured candy. Seems like milk flavoured sweets are very popular. Did have Japan on it, so it's probably Japanese in origin, but enjoyed throughout Taiwan. So a nice little box. And they are a box of, these feel like they're jellies. They're quite soft. Little box of square jellies. Been very interesting. And I'm just going to try and bring back these noodles to have a look how they're progressing. Give those a bit of a break up. It did suggest using some of the water to make the tea, so I'm just holding the plate in place. It's dripping water, but I'm sure you can see what's going on in there. They're breaking up nicely, so I'll just put that back to one side there. And I think I'll have a look at these Milky Sakura Lay's crisps or chips. Now, certainly not a flavour I'm accustomed to. There is like a white powder coating, a milky sort of smell of like a milk powder. Very unusual flavour. I should just put a couple of those out. Okay, put those to one side. Very interesting smell coming from them. Now, I'm not sure how to go about this. It did say make the soup using a little bit of the water from the noodles. Now, I'm assuming this is the soup. My translator's been no help to me whatsoever with this. I'm just now making a best guess, and it could be totally wrong. So it does look like it may be a soup type powder, very fine soup. Just a little tiny amount of herbs there. See if I can pour some of this water out of the noodles. I don't think that would need much. Very pleasant smell. Don't know how much water, no idea. Maybe way too much, but we'll just try that. I'm just going to move this out of the way, and I think before I go any further I'm going to pause it here once again and just drain off those noodles. So I'll see you in a minute. So welcome back one more time, and as you can see, with the magic of technology, I was able to drain the noodles into a smaller bowl. Still cannot find out if this is the flavouring, but that's the way I'm going to go. So where shall we start? I think I'm going to start with the black tea. I still have the bag in there, so it should be nice and strong. Very nice, good quality, typical style, English breakfast style tea. No milk, no sugar, but very pleasant. Very enjoyable. The sort of tea that as Brits would put a spoon of sugar, add a little bit of milk. Very nice, decent black tea. Now this is the berry and red date. Very sweet, very unusual flavour. There is a sort of flavour of dates there, but the overwhelming flavour is sugar. It is very sweet. Very difficult to describe the date flavour in the tea. I've had that flavour somewhere before, but I cannot remember or describe. If you eat dates, it's a very similar sort of flavour to dates, but it's extremely sweet. There's an awful lot of sugar in there, but it's a very pleasant, different hot drink. Now, I've got some noodles to the back here. I've still got my German knife, fork, spoon set, so I think I'm just going to try a couple of these noodles on their own first. I'll just use the fork to help me pick them up there. Very much like spaghetti, very long noodles there. A very large mouthful, very simplistic, very standard noodles that everybody around the world should be familiar with. No flavour on their own, a very simple noodle dish. Now I'm going to take a look at this paste. I'm assuming this is meant to go into the noodles. It's a very dark paste there. I don't know if this should have been the soup and the other the flavouring. However, I've just gone terribly wrong. I just have a little bit for now. Got a very strong smell there. I don't know if I should have left some of the water. I'm going to reintroduce some of the water that I still off camera here. They seem very dry and they don't seem to be doing much, so I'm just going to bring back a little bit more of the water, add some more of that paste. Now it's wet, I'm sure it will mix a little bit better. No idea what I'm doing. I may be totally off track. but it does seem like that paste needed more liquid to make a soup, a dark, rich soup. Now, I still think that might need more, so I'm going to add some more of the water back in again to make like a gravy. If I have made a complete mess of this, I do apologise, but it looks like that's the way to go. So that's the way I'm going. It's always interesting to discover new foods, new tastes, new flavours. Now, that is more like a noodles in a gravy now. I don't know if you can see there. That's formed a dark, rich style gravy. So let's have another taste of that. Certainly moisten those noodles up. I think that was the way it was meant to go. There's now a very dark, oily gravy there. Certainly, from what I can gather, that is what I should have done from the beginning. Left the water in, just added the dark bean sauce. There was a little bit of chili kick in there, a lot more flavour. That's really lifted those noodles. Very nice, much more enjoyable. Whether I've done that right or whether I've done that wrong, that's certainly given those a flavour lift. Now I'll have a look at this soup. Very thin soup. Have a taste of this. Surprisingly flavourful. Very salty. Flavour of one or two little herbs. Very salty. Salt, white pepper, I would say. And it tastes like a flavoured water. If you boil cabbage, I don't know if any of you have ever done it, added salt and pepper to the water from the cabbage and you've drank it in a drink. It's something we used to do here when I was younger. My mum used to encourage me to get the vitamins, drink a cup of the boiled cabbage water with some salt and pepper in, and it's very reminiscent of that. It's a very similar sort of flavour. Very nice, very tasty. I think I'm going to come back to more of these noodles. I think that was definitely the way to go. I was totally off track first time. Should have left the water in. Back to the noodles. Much more flavour. It's a black bean sauce. I wouldn't like to guess what's black bean sauce with some heat. There's some chilli in there, a little bit of heat now. Just refresh my palate. So, Milky Sakura Lay's chips or crisps. There is like a milk powder coating. They do smell of a milk. Now that's very unusual. They are coated in a cream powder, so it's very difficult to describe. But if you can imagine a chip, a Lay's chip or crisp, and you have powdered cream, powdered milk, and it's sprinkled on that crisp. Now that is a totally unique flavour to myself, but surprisingly enjoyable. That is not something that I would have thought worked, a milk powder on a chip or crisp. I think there's a little bit of salt on there as well. But they're surprisingly, once you become accustomed to that flavour, they're surprisingly good. Milky Sakura, milk flavoured crisps. Very unusual. Now, we'll take a look at some of these little bear biscuits. Crisp, they're crunchy. They're like a super smooth cookie, where a cookie normally has texture, being a little bit coarse. These get the impression the flour has been ground super fine. So once you've bitten them, they dissolve in your mouth. Very, very little flavour. There's a slight hint. I've now got a little bit of chili burn on my lip from this bean sauce. It's making it very difficult to actually recognise that flavour. I think they're a very simple, plain cookie. Very much probably flour, shortening and sugar. Very, very simple, very, very pleasant, light tasting cookie. Let's have a look at this Oolong Tea Chocolate Nugget Bar. Again, another unusual flavour, dropping it everywhere. There are little nuts in there, peanuts I think, dark nugget flavour. Excuse me, while I sort of get that flavour. Again, not a flavour I'm used to, not a flavour I'm familiar with. It tastes like black tea. So if you can imagine black tea in powder form, so pretty much this black tea in a solid form, that's exactly what it tastes like. It is a solid black tea with nuts and chocolate. Again, totally unique flavour to me in the UK, but again, not displeasant. It's just different. And again, the more you eat that unusual flavour develops and you start to enjoy the taste. Totally unique, new taste, like the crisps, very enjoyable. Now, the lactic acid candies. Now there's a box full of these, double stacked box, and they feel quite soft, almost like a gummy or a chew. They're individually wrapped. The cellophane seems to be quite sticky. I'm not sure if this was the way it's meant to be. I need to wipe down my knife. I've got some bean curd or paste on there. Now the cellophane is sticking. It's proving very tricky to unwrap. I'm almost tempted to eat it with the cellophane on. Now, I cannot get the cellophane off that. I'm going to try and just eat around it. I don't know if I should be eating that cellophane. It's pleasant, chewy, sweet, sticky, very much like a wine gum. I cannot get that cellophane off. I'm beginning to wonder if you should eat it with the cellophane on. Chewy, slight fruit flavoured. They're almost like a soft gummy or a very soft wine gum, but flavour very nice, very pleasant, very tasty. Not sure if that cellophane's supposed to be on or off, but if you take it off it tastes very good. I even ate a little bit of the cellophane and you didn't notice, so maybe it's an edible plastic, but very nice, very enjoyable background flavour. So I'm going to leave it here. Some very new, unusual and interesting flavours and textures I've discovered. I am going to actually eat the rest of this. Certainly the chocolate I'll be eating and a few more of the candies, and throughout the rest of the day I think I shall be snacking on these Milky Sakura crisps. So I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.